And hello, YouTube. This is Thomas Judge back once again with another YouTube reading guide series. Today is the 10th and last of 10 videos walking through the often overlooked annual events published by DC throughout the 90s. Now, to create this reading guide, I have read roughly 200 comic issues. So these are all the DC annuals published throughout the 90s, up to and including the millennium, which is this video. So in the year 2000, DC did their final and last annual event. After that point, they stopped doing them, basically. So let's just talk about this. Their Swan Song event. So this was called Planet DC. Now keep in mind, I know it sounds like a grand title, but this wasn't actually an event in a single story the way the previous video and even the video before that for 1998 as well. They were single events. This one isn't. This is again a themed or thematic event. I know it sounds grand, and to be honest, until I read it, I thought in some way it was probably linked to something like DC 1 million because it looked like it even had similar branding, but no, nothing to do with that. What it was, in the year 2000, they released a series of themed annuals. By they, I mean DC. Each issue had the Planet DC banner at the top, as you can see, and the plan behind it was each issue introduced either a new international superhero, so a non-American one, or a new super team. So these issues are all in continuity, and the idea was try to expand and broaden the DC Comics universe. So they're all disconnected, they're all standalones, they're all one shots, so the order is totally irrelevant. As always, in that case, I'm going to do this in alphabetical order. So let's start off with the Batgirl, annual number one. This introduces someone called Aruna from India. It's an excellent story, but we never really see this character again. It has two stories in this issue. Well worth tracking down, well worth reading. Then we have Batman Annual 24. This introduces Rosemary Fields and her magic boggart protector from England. Um, I know that sounds weird when I say it. It really is weird. And if you don't know what a boggart, sorry, a boggart, is that the word for it? It's like a troll that lives under your bed. It's really weird. Anyway, we never really see this person again. And again, it has two stories in this issue. Next up, we have Flash Annual 13. This introduces the team of Super Malon from Argentina. These guys are only ever briefly seen again once. I think like they have a one-panel appearance in Batman Incorporated Volume 1, Issue 3. But like, yeah, blink and you'll miss them. Then we have Green Lantern Annual 9. This introduces Salah from Tunisia. This continues actually in the JLA 2001 to 2002 mini series, which is called JLA Gatekeeper. So that's interesting if you're interested in that. So this has two stories in this issue. Next up is JLA Annual 4. This introduces the character of Janissary from Turkey. It's a bold story about Islam from Brian K. Vaughan. It only ever makes a couple, or rather, she only makes a couple of minor appearances ever after. But these two stories are both about this, and they're both in this issue. Next up, we have JSA Annual 1. This introduces the character of Nemesis, who's from Greece. It builds on a lot of events that's in the JSA ongoing, and it kind of continues on in that series, so it's kind of part of that. Um, it makes sense by itself, but you really should read it as part of that. Then we have Superman Annual number 12. This introduces an unnamed group, or at least I missed their name, which consists of the following people: Akrata, El Muerto, and Imam. All of them are from Mexico. Again, it has two stories in the issue, with the second being kind of like an interesting found footage type story, like imagine Cloverfield or Blair Witch Project, and it's found footage of a reporter who's like trying to record and follow along the events in the first story in this issue. So it's weird. It's like a paraquel. So kind of cool, kind of clever. I mean, it's not a brilliant story, but it's a clever idea. And finally, the very end, last but not least, Titans Annual 1. Keep in mind, this isn't Teen Titans, this is Titans. Annual 1 introduces the character of Bushido from Japan. Again, it has two stories in the issue. So, yeah, you can see that DC fandom listed as follows. It's worth noting this was the final DC event ever held in annuals. I mean, later on we start looking at other company-wide crossover events and miniseries, things like Infinite Crisis, Blackest Night, all those sorts of things start happening soon. And don't worry, a guide on those is coming soon. But I'm going to have to release that guide sort of intertwined with the releases of my Superman guide, which will be coming relatively soon on the channel. I think in the next month or so I will be dropping all those videos covering I think there's about, 1,500 issues that I'm covering there. And I'll be dropping that relatively soon. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for your support, and please support the channel. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. As always, please like, comment, subscribe. As always, please follow me on Twitter at I am Thomas Judge, where I will post a daily review of whatever comics I've been reading. You can get an idea of what I'm up to on the channel. And as always, please support the channel by heading over to Amazon.com and checking out my prose novel about superheroes. It's a completely original piece of work. The first episode in it is called Arrivals, and the series as a whole is called No Gods or Kings. You can find an excerpt of that on my website, nogodsorkings.com. Until next time, everybody, stay classy.